Cancer, welcome to your May 2018 General Tarot reading. I'm Luna Nicole Black. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for choosing to spend some time with me to receive your messages. You also have the distinct pleasure of an outdoor reading this month. The weather in London is incredible, and so I've taken this chance to come out here and just connect with the nature energies. I have prayed a blessing over your reading and that the energies here would really participate. I've pulled your cards, they're interesting, but just quickly before we get into that, a few kind of housekeeping messages. First being that if you would like a personal reading from me, you can get that on my website. It's NicoleBlack.com. Okay, let's try that again. NicoleBlack.com/services, and I'll put it in the description box in the, okay, I just cannot talk today. I will put a link in the description box below. Let's move the mouth. Help with addiction. Okay, and also last month I had the pleasure of being featured on a couple of podcasts and a magazine article, so I'm leaving the link to that in the description box as well. So if you want to hear me talk about tarot, healing, astrology, spirituality, mental health, all that good stuff outside the context of this particular message and your kind of energy, then you can do that. I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll really like it, so please do have a watch/listen. And is there anything else? Yes, I'm doing daily tarot messages now on my Instagram page. Today I actually tweeted them as well for the first time. So for those of you on Twitter, you can maybe now start getting them there too. But for now, on my Instagram is the reliable place. It's Luna Nicole Black on Instagram. And it's just a way, you know, sometimes, you know, a month can be a bit of a wait before you see me again. So it's a way for us to connect with these energies and see, kind of take them day by day, like process the messages. They're not by zodiac sign, they're just general. So for whoever feels very connected to me and like this, the spiritual path that I'm walking. Okay, so your cards. Cancer, when I pulled your cards, I was like, I don't know what's going on with Cancer. Like, I just looked at them and I knew they were your cards, but I was like, what is it saying? I don't get it. And I feel that in some ways this is actually representative of the end of April into May for you, where it's like things are happening just in the same way that the story is actually here, it's present in the cards, but you don't get it. Like, you're like, okay, there's drama, there's things happening, but you feel almost like slightly aloof or slightly out there, like not very grounded or connected to what's going on with you, needing to retreat, just being a bit like everything's hazy. The first few cards I pulled, which is the question is, how are you showing up this month? Ace of Wands in reverse, Six of Swords in reverse, and the King of Wands in reverse. So all these cards here, all of them reversed, and none of them in your own element. None of them are water cards. So what it's saying to me is that you aren't present, you know, not that you're not here physically, or here obviously, but there is a disconnection of kinds. You're not showing up as your dominant true self here, and I'm feeling as though those cards specifically are about an inability to take what's internal in the form of the Ace of Wands inverted external into the world. Okay, so the King of Wands reverse here is saying that you're struggling to establish something, and this message is actually very universal because I've been repeating it throughout the different signs. But here for you, I'll talk to you specifically about why you're experiencing it in the way that you are. And with the King of Wands, this is you know, you want to build, you want to establish, you want to create, you want to do something, and this can be anything, right? It's a fire sign energy, so just think about it generally as what you're trying to do right now, or a vision that you have for yourself. But with the King of Wands in reverse, it's like you can't get it out. And I feel also like even my own energy, as it's kind of fusing with yours right now, and me being Cancer rising myself, the struggle that I'm having to articulate the message, or I'm even feeling a lack of grasp or a haziness, which is your energy. So what's happening right now is that everything is almost in potential form and not in concrete flow. And this is a struggle that you're having this month. And with the Six of Swords, it says to me that you are finding it difficult, but at least trying to move away from emotional situation and the way that you were thinking about something emotionally. So what's happening right now is that you're wrapping things up on a mental level, you're reviewing, understanding. We just had the Scorpio full moon, and I feel like Cancer, I don't think you find Scorpio energy that easy to wade through. Even if you're fine with Scorpios in your life, in terms of being very affected by Scorpio themes yourself, I think you find that almost a bit like drowning, you know, drowning in the emotion. Now, you have emotional depths. There's no one can say that Cancer doesn't feel deeply. You do have emotional depths, but yours is an intensity of emotion rather than a depth of emotion. And it doesn't mean you don't maybe depth is the right word. So you feel things intensity. So when we think about intensity, we might think about that as like turning the heat up. So it's almost an upward movement in your emotional calibrator, and Scorpios is a different kind of intensification, and it's a downward movement. Okay, and so I think you find that quite difficult to almost do the polar opposite. And what this Scorpio full moon has been doing for you, Cancer, is disturbing the waters and saying there's some stuff that's like, I say this to you a lot, I think, you know, the sediment, what's settled in you emotionally that is discoloring your water, discoloring your life, really affecting you. This is what you're assessing. This is what you're like, okay, I've gone this far now, and I'm thinking about what I've carried with me to this point and why I've done what I've done on an emotional level. But it's a swords card, so it's like I'm thinking about the actions and the decisions I've taken that have been driven by emotion, because that is the Cancer archetype. You are like the connection between the moon and water. You are moved by your feelings, and it doesn't mean you're illogical. It just means that that's a strong power for you. So that's what May's about. I asked for some context for those messages then, like why have you found yourself in that place? And you got 5 cards, and 2 of which are 5. So there is if we take that as a 555, then there's an energy of change, transformation, but also challenge and conflict that comes with the 5 energy. So, excuse me for my sniffle, I think there's a little bit of hay fever. So, the first card you have here is the 5 of Swords reversed. This is avoidance. At first I thought it was conflicts you've had in the past, and yes, that's true, because as I said, you're reviewing what you've done before. You're reviewing the situations that you've traversed through. You're reviewing old relationships, old job situations, you know, family dynamics. You are looking at past conflict, but this card is actually about almost the reason you're doing that now is because you recognize that you're also avoiding conflict and trying to keep the peace, or I want to sneeze. It's okay. Keep the peace, or keep some kind of, it's a Libra quality. There we go. So this is an air sign energy. So in the ways that Libra is trying to create harmony and balance between people, this is something you're also doing right now by avoiding the difficult conversation or avoiding saying something that needs to be said. And because you're doing that, you've got the 5 of Wands, which is actually what is blocking your Ace of Wands and your King of Wands here. So this 5 of Wands is the disruption of that energy, and what it's saying is because you're not having the communication that you need to have, you're not speaking up and allowing things to be messy and to be painful and to disrupt what feels comforting and secure to you. It is messing with your creative power. And even me, in the context of this, my creative power is even the delivery of this. So, and that's my Virgo nature also assessing my delivery whilst I'm doing it. Hey guys, what can I say? So you also have the 2 of Swords. Now today is the 8th, I believe, 8th of May, and I did a daily reading on Instagram and Twitter, and this card came up, and it's talking about a block of energy. Now that's exactly what I just said to you. The 5 of Wands is blocking your Ace and your King. It's blocking your intention manifesting in the world as something concrete. And with the 2 of Swords here, as I talked about it today in my daily reading, is actually about having opposing forces, something disparate internally, things going in 2 different directions. And you can see that. I'll show them to you here in these 2 cards in the form of these 2 5s. This is what's going on with you, and it's almost like your energy is split. That's probably why you're not showing up, because you're dealing with so much activity and drama on 2 completely different polar spectrums of who you are. And therefore the things that are trying to come to you right now, Cancer, are not coming. I have to call it as it is. And maybe it's not that it's not coming, that's not fair, but they're not reaching you. There's no connection. So everything I'm saying about this reading is about you not being here, you not being grounded, you not being available, you're caught up somewhere. And for some of you it's with others with yourself, and this can't be sustained. So last month I was talking a lot in my dailies about the Tower card, and here it is for you. Now for a lot of signs this has happened already, but it hasn't for you. This is still coming up in May. The upheaval, the disruption, the shocking news. This can be Uranus, it can also be Mars. So this is also fire energy, like things like crumbling, burning down, things being transformed because they can't be the same again. Think about chemical processes. There are certain alterations that can't be reversed, okay? So like when you burn toast, you cannot make it bread again. So there is something about an ending, a no longer coming back to its original form that needs to happen with you, that has already happened with the other signs, and for some reason, you're almost lagging behind. So I said in my reading today that my reading for the 8th of May was specifically for the people who have not yet integrated the message, right? They've not yet been able to make it practical in their lives. And I also said it wasn't, well I didn't, but I'm saying it now, it's not a judgment of you, because what I did say there as well is that the spirit loves you unconditionally, and it's not based on the condition that you get things the first time or that you do things quickly. So it's okay if you're still here. It's okay if you're the last to feel the tower. And it might not even be that you're the last to feel it. Maybe you're already feeling the tower, but you're the last to get out. You're the last to leave. You're the last to get out of the burning building, Cancer. But you have to go. And so I asked Spirit, what are your soul lessons right now in order to help you get out of the burning building that is the energy of May for you? First card, the Hanged Man, Pisces energy. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing, because the Hangman is saying that there is a pattern, a loop, something you're doing, a karmic cycle, an energy that's repeating itself in your life that you've not understood why yet. And if you have understood why, say you had this, because you know I'm on the 8th of May, so maybe you know you had this eureka in the first week of the month after the Scorpio full moon, then you haven't fully integrated this issue, okay? But it's saying here, stay where you are. You won't be, and this is a sacrifice, right? This is like an uncomfortable energy. No one really wants to linger in the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is something that you must do. And so the spirit is almost saying that you will have to stay here until you get it, Cancer. And you know, I've been saying this to Aquarius, for example, and Aquarius, I've been giving them the same message in their reading since last year, and only this May have they, or April really, April, May, did they get it and start moving. And so this applies to you. You won't be allowed to move, Cancer, until you integrate this lesson. And here's the confirmation of that in the form of the Two of Wands. A lot of fire energy, a lot of intention, a lot of desire, a lot of passion, a lot of intuition, a lot of spiritual potential here, and none of it's going anywhere. This person cannot move. Yes, they're holding the earth in their hand. They're holding their potential vision, all the possibility, but they have not grounded. So you know, they're not living in this globe. They are not in this world, they're holding the world. And this is what you're needing. You need earth energy, which thus far, okay, right, I've looked at your cards and there's no pentacle card here at all. So if you were confused, Cancer, about what you're missing, it's the earth energy, and then maybe me as a Virgo is the perfect person to help you locate this, because the message is the Page of Swords, which is you can't move on until you have the necessary communication. And it can't just be with yourself. It can't just be like, I understand it now. It can't just be like talking it through with the person in yourself and visualizing it. You must now go out and say what needs to be said, and be prepared for the disharmony, and be prepared to mess with your security, because truth must prevail. Like, this is the way forward for you. You just need to be truthful, Cancer. You have to be. And the truth of an emotion has emerged for you, and now you need to take that out in some way. Now, I've kept this really universal. I haven't you know, said it's this, or you need to tell your partner this, or tell your boss this thing, because I can't. This energy is so big and so difficult to grasp that you must do it. It can't come from someone external. You must feel it. Those are your lessons. So what's the action? I asked Spirit, what action can you take? You've got the Fool in reverse and the Nine of Cups in reverse here. This is positive. This is saying that you must acknowledge that there is a new beginning that is emerging from the death card, or from the tower, not the death card, from the tower. From this burning down, disruption, ending of a cycle, breaking the karma, which is really what you want. You actually need this, Cancer. It's not a punishment. You need it to clear way for this so that you can be in a much happier and much freer energy, so that you can remember that the home isn't external, it's internal. You see how the Fool has this little rucksack that is carrying with it? It's not a rucksack, it's a bag. I carry rucksacks everywhere, which is a bit of my Cancer energy. Wherever you're going, you are. And that's what you need to know, that whatever you're grasping and clinging to and trying to maintain by omission, by not saying, by being obsequious even, you need to rectify that this May. This May, things must be said. Because there is harmony, satisfaction, contentment on the other side of it for you, but you can only get to that through the disruption. Because what's almost happening, Cancer, is that you've made someone else comfortable. This almost feels like a Libra message. You've made someone else comfortable at your own expense, and this must stop. And so what's going to happen is that whilst you feel like, oh, okay, if I say what needs to be said, then it's this, and I don't want to hurt people's feelings, and I would, you know, just rather keep things cool, like, actually no, it means that you continue to live in this energy rather than having this, and this is an offer to you, and a lot of the other signs have stepped into it, and it's time for you to leave what is disrupting now. So in terms of what I said to you, is you having no Pentacles cards, and Pentacles being the energy that you need to solve this. It's just the Earth energy. It's actually just taking concrete action. Okay, do the thing. That's how you materialize it. You materialize it by you actually showing up in the situation and not living outside of it or avoiding it emotionally, mentally, or spiritually. That is a message for you. Once you can bring yourself into the situation, inhabit the earth, like I was saying, then you will be able to master the earth energy. Then you will be able to take the intention out into the world and do what you need to do, but you can't right now. So Cancer, if you would like a personal reading, it's nicoleblack.com/services. I appreciate your love. You guys show me so much encouragement, and I appreciate that. I read all of your comments. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and your subscribes. Please continue to share this work that I'm doing. I appreciate it, and connect with me on Instagram. It's where I call it my digital home. It's my favorite social media site. And I will see you, if not in the daily readings, I'll see you next month. Much love, Cancer.